Hey everyone, this is Jess with Capella Wellness. I didn't feel like doing my normal intro for whatever reason, but what does it matter, right? I'm here on my hike at Great Falls. I'm on the Maryland side. I live about 17-20 minutes away from here. I've been doing this every Friday. I usually take Thursdays and Fridays off for me. This is part of my grounding process. If you want to see, I can flip the camera. I can't tell where I'm at. Oh, I know what I'll do. Hold on a second. So yeah, come sit here, meditate. I usually listen to music. Music is a very, very excellent manifestation tool and technique that I use. I've been doing that actually since I was a child. I just didn't realize how therapeutic it was since I was a kid. Anyway, so I'm here now, but I actually woke up this morning and something told me to do a video about divination, about tarot. So, and I'm talking from experience. I'm talking about the readings that I do for the collective, for some clients, what have you, what I did for myself. So while they talk about divination being confirmation, right? Well, it is. I found it to be way more than that. If some of you aren't already aware, it's really about your spiritual growth. When I started reading for myself, I would get a lot of reversals. And sometimes I would, maybe it's supposed to be in the upright. I'll flip it, right? I don't want to see it. I don't want to face the truth. I know I have to do some tweaking, but some of the things were very serious and with my karmic patterns. And at the time, I was saying to myself, what is it that I'm doing? And if I kept getting the same message over and over and over, what was I really doing? I was not learning anything. Was I? I was not. And it wasn't until I had a tower moment with my divine counterpart. And I honestly will say, the universe did set me up. I was trusting my gut. They had me follow these signs, which I did. And something happened unexpectedly. The outcome I thought was going to occur. One of these days I will talk about it, but my guides are telling me not to talk about this tower moment, the details of it at this moment. That's going to be coming later, they're telling me. So I thought I was doing the right thing. Everything was fine until the tower moment happened and I said, oh shit, this was not how I expected, but it happened to really get me on my path. I got kicked by Saturn for about 38 years, 38 years. I'm 41 now. And Saturn was pretty much, I'm done with this, Jess. This is it. You need to learn because we need you for something else. And sure enough, without all those reversals, I haven't had a reversal since. And this was March of 2020. Like right before it was March 6th that I had my tower moment, which happens to be my divine counterpart's birthday. So that was when everything hit, and that was right before that thing started. I know I said the P word, but it is what it is. And everything changed for me then. So the point of me telling you this story is, if you're watching tarot to see, if like a lover's coming back, or somebody likes you, or how they think about you, or You know, am I going to win the lottery? Am I going to, am I going to get rich? This, and that. I'm not judging here, first and foremost, okay? I'm just speaking my truth. And again, from my own perspective, my own opinion, especially my experiences with tarot. So if you're just trying to seek validation or trying to like really see into the future, but you're only focusing on just the positives, if you keep being told the same message over and over and over, it's repetitive. And you start getting angry because then another reading would be like, oh, hey, you're going to have like I had a reading, the whole shebang. I was about to manifest. I forgot what sign it was for, but I did it for a sign. And I know for another one, I think it was a Leo reading that talked about, get ready, you just hit the jackpot, right? And those readings, they have the most views out of all my other ones, right? And I got hung up on putting these titles to attract viewers. That's not my point in creating a YouTube channel. I was hesitant, to be honest with you, because this was my last test to show my face to the world, to show the world my abilities, to really shine my light. I am Leo North Node and Leo Rising with a life path 9. So with the South Node in Aquarius, I had to totally come out of that comfort zone with being detached and trying to follow people and all this other stuff. Sure, there's benefits with Aquarius, absolutely, right? Innovation is a big thing for me. But what happened was that YouTube channel that they were telling me to create, my guides were telling me to create, was the last check mark on my things to do, to really push me out of my comfort zone. When I started doing my channel, started doing the readings, I was a little bit hesitant. And then when the messages came out, I'm like, shit, is this really the message I got to give to Virgo, to Aquarius, to Aries? But then my guides were like, as I'm reading, Jess, you have to keep pushing through with this. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And this is not a knock on anybody. I had a lot of work to do. We're all here to evolve and to grow. And so the more I did the videos, the better, the more comfortable I got. And it wasn't until I had reprogrammed myself and it was like nothing. I got so comfortable with it. And even if something that wasn't great came out, I was completely fine with it. Completely fine with it. And if somebody gives me a thumbs down or whatever, I can't get hung up on that either. I couldn't get hung up on the number of views. I couldn't get hung up on the number of subscribers. Because this YouTube channel is preparing me for my next big thing. And I know this because everything that I have learned in my life, all my jobs, the relationships that I had, everything that I experienced, the 10-year marriage that I had that I ended several years ago, they were all lessons for me to learn. And I grew and I grew and I grew until that tower moment that happened that really catapulted me out of that. I got shot out of the cannon. And it led me to here. And I'm living the best life that I could have ever live. Hands down. I mean, sitting here with these rapids in front of me, several hundred feet up above the water. And now there's people behind me. When I come here, it's quiet. I had some older man ask me what direction Falls Road was, and I said, it's that way. And I said, I'm going to do a video. Give me my piece. Anyway. Nobody's usually here, which is why I come on Fridays. Anyway, that's a tangent. So it really got me on my path. And I don't have to worry about anything anymore. And divination was a big thing for me. And for some people that I've been helping, especially with clients, they're starting to see this now. And it's hard because we're so overly programmed to think a certain way, to follow society, to follow everybody else, and to do what everyone else is doing. But every single one of us has the tools already to create the life that we want. It's like the magician card, right? Temperance, being the alchemist. It's like having the temperance energy and the magician energy and combining those two with all the other major arcana. The minor, it's just those little steps, those things we got to tweak. overcome whatever it is until we're reaching like all the majors and we're just totally in our element. We're totally in our power. We're not worried about what anybody else thinks. We're not worried about how we're going to be perceived by others, because since birth, we were all given the power from God, because we are all God within. We are all children of God. And divination is just that. Understanding what our true power is, that God gave each and every one of us. Divination, the word divine is in there. It's supposed to help us to grow, to evolve, and then we utilize what we learn to teach others, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So if you find yourself doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result, what does Einstein say about that? That's insanity. And some of you are like, well, okay, maybe somebody's saying right now, well, you can go have your life because maybe somebody's giving you a lot of money, or maybe this, or maybe that, maybe I'm privileged. No, I'm a single mom of a 12-year-old boy. I do my own thing. I don't give in to fear. I don't worry. I maintain a high vibration as high as possible, as often as possible. And when I do that, it manifests. I'm in balance and I'm harmonious with the universe, with the cycles of the moon, with the way the world ebbs and flows. And when I'm in that element, I'm in that space and that vibration, everything else flows in my life. And I will be honest, and sometimes it irks me sometimes, because when I try to help others and the same patterns, but then I have to have compassion, because there's karmic stuff going on, there's past life stuff going on, there's a lot of things, and it's hard to reprogram your mind with a completely different operating system that is not necessarily for sale, that is not really marketed out there, right? Everyone utilizes Windows operating system, or, iOS, or whatever it is, either for your phone, for your laptop. But everyone's using it, right? Until this OS comes along. I don't know, call it something. I'll call mine the Capella operating system. But nobody else is using it. And I'm like, I'm afraid to install that program into my hard drive, into my mind. Because what if it gets viruses? What if it, completely just gets the blue screen of death and it shuts down everything in my whole vessel? My mind, my body, my soul is just completely discombobulated, completely out of alignment. I'm destroyed. And then what, right? That comes with the fear of the unknown, kind of like with the moon card. But we all have to go into the unknown to understand what is on the other side. We can't understand what the light truly is without going through darkness. We don't truly learn life, how life really is, if we don't go through pain and suffering. And when we truly understand that the pain and suffering was for us to become stronger, that's the whole point. Until we understand that, we will continue to be in the cyclic patterns, go into these cycles of pain and suffering, and thinking that there's no light at the end of the tunnel, that there's no salvation, that there's no true bliss. But once we come over that hump and we don't feel victimized, we don't start pointing fingers at every single thing, everyone. That really teaches you some very valuable things. It's like, for me, I used to say, why me, God? Why was this happening? I grew up Catholic. I read the entire Bible when I was 15. I went to church every Sunday with family, and I did all these things. And I was always a good person. But my issue was I was doing too much. I was giving too much. It was not balanced in that sense. And then I allowed people to take advantage of me, take advantage of my niceness. I thought that I had to turn the other cheek every time and give people things until I was completely naked, metaphorically speaking. Because I thought that was the right thing to do. But what I wasn't doing was setting my boundaries. And that's why God was like, Jess, this has to stop. Especially with guys, with relationships. I always did 1,000%. The other person maybe did 5 or 10 or 0. And I was like, no, well, I'm doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, there was no balance there. It's like the 6 of Pentacles, right? You can look at it different ways, but usually it's either somebody's taking so much from you, you're giving too much, or like vice versa, right? But the 6s are about balance. That card is about balance, especially on the physical plane where you are overexerting yourself, giving too much money, giving too much of your time and your energy, right? Too many things. And that depletes you, right? When you're giving too much. But then we get tricked into thinking that's what we're supposed to do. But no, we have to pull our energy back and say, well, why do I keep doing this? Because again, somebody's undervaluing you, underappreciating you. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Then what? What do you feel? You feel like shit. You feel actually less worthy than you did when you thought you were feeling like you were enough, you were worthy before you started giving and giving and giving. And that's just one example. Like with divination, we have to face our fears. We have to face the truth about ourselves, because we are here to live paradise on earth. It does exist. I'm sitting on paradise right now. I make sure that I allow myself to be immersed in this environment so that I understand the true beauty of nature, of God, God's wonderment. Yeah, the world is still kind of crazy right now, but a lot of us are being called to change that. And if you think it's impossible, if you think, well, you know, people have it better than me because they have this, and that. Again, like me, you're probably thinking like, oh, well, I don't know, I have like a trust fund or some shit or whatever. I'm getting money from somebody. No, it's just me. I created this life for myself. And you can't knock it until you try it. You can't be putting the blame on people, on things, even on God, for how your life is if you're continuously running in that hamster wheel. Like the wheel of fortune that I look at. You got to, if you are trying to control things, that wheel of fortune, the wheel of karma, will turn in the opposite direction until you get it. Jupiter is trying to give you the abundance, the happiness, the growth that you need to live that blissful life. But people, I don't know what it is, but it's like this false notion of, well, I need to take full control. And yes, we talk about taking control of the situation, or like Emperor energy or the Chariot. But here's the thing. When you're being divinely guided to do something and you're reluctant to do that, that's when things kind of go by the wayside, or maybe more chaos sets in your life, because your heart, your inner GPS system is telling you to take control of the reins to drive you to your destiny, to your bliss, to the world, to the life that God meant for you to live. And some of us don't allow that to happen because we're allowing other people, other societies, governments, family, friends, spouses, significant others to dictate how we live, what we do, what we think, how we dress, how we talk, how we walk, right? All of that stuff. We're giving our power away. God already gave us the power we needed since we incarnated here into these human vessels. But then as we grow older, it gets stripped away. More and more and more and more. Until we feel like we have nothing left, right? Like we're fully depleted. Or it's like, I can't get out of this pattern. But you have to remember that it's a choice. You can get out of whatever it is that you're in. You have to have the balls. Grab the bull by the horns and say, enough is enough. I am going to change this. And that's exactly what I did. And with divination, like I said, with all the cards that I would get in reverse. And I was ignoring it until that tower moment happened. And it's like, shit. God's like, come on, Jess. Saturn is like, I kicked you in the ass again. You better get it this time. And I did. And everything shifted. Everything shifted. I finally learned to be alone, but I don't feel lonely. There's a difference. I have this here. Nature's around me. I have my son. I have God, my archangels, my ancestors, my deceased paternal grandparents. May they rest in peace. I have them too. And it's hard, trust me, because I had a fear of being alone. That's why I was so codependent on people, especially with relationships, to make me feel whole, to make me feel I was worth anything. Right? Even though deep down inside, deep down in there, Jess knew she was a badass, but maybe other people would say I wasn't, especially in my job. The higher ups, I was trying to get up there and people kept pushing me down, and I started to believe, oh, well, you need this. You can't be this because you're not that, blah, 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 blah. And I believed it. And then God said, there's enough of that stuff. You've learned your lessons from your career. It's time to do something different. And we have to understand that divination is actually another gift from God to help us to understand his unconditional love, his mercy, to understand that we have that power within because we are all creatures of God. And until you face yourself, you face your fears, you face the truth, you come like you are like this with your demons, you will be continuing to turn your back to those demons, and those demons are going to continue to control your life. Other people are going to continue to control your life. It's progress. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as you probably all hear. But I'm telling you, it's really time for a lot of us to step up to the plate and just do it. Just like my shirt says. And I'm telling you, this is why I like Nike so much. Their motto is simple. I'm probably looking at this and not up there. I can't see. It's freaking bright out here. But if you see my shirt, the glare is really bad, so I can't tell if you see it. It says just do it, right? There's a reason why I was recording this today, and this is on my shirt. It's so simple, everybody. It's so simple. Yeah, I haven't been looking up here. I've been looking down here the whole time. Whatever, it doesn't matter, right? I have to stop being a perfectionist. That was another lesson I had to learn. I have a lot of Virgo on my chart. I had to stop being perfect. So now I'm going to start looking up here or whatever it is. Either way, follow this motto. Just do it already. Especially with this new moon in Leo coming up on the Lionsgate portal. What are you going to do with your life? Are you going to continue to allow people to control you? Are you going to continue to be with high anxiety, with stress, with worry, with uncertainty? When deep down inside, God's waiting for you to utilize the power that you have within, that you've always carried within you, always. Just do it. Start facing your fears. Try not to get so immersed in tarot. Trying to find a reading that's going to give you some hope or things are going to turn around. But again, it's a collective reading if it's not personal for you. And if you continue to get the same message over and over and over, and you're not doing anything about it, guess what? You're going to keep running into the same messages over and over and over. Nothing's going to change. It's like, how do you expect to get a promotion if you do jack shit? How do you expect your car to run if your gas tank is empty? Right? It's not going to go anywhere. You have to do something. You have to take a step. You got to go, hopefully your tank isn't completely empty. You can't run the car. You have to go get gas and fill it up in your driveway or whatever. You go fill it up. That way you're not stuck at the side of the road or whatever. Try to get a promotion. You believe in yourself and you utilize everything that you've been given and go after that. But then again, I think there's even more for you than, a 9-to-5 job. I bet every single one of you who's watching this has some dream, has some aspiration, what's it called? Aspiration. But you're afraid to take that leap of faith. Why? Maybe some people are telling you, that's not possible. How are you going to make a living doing that? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to do this? How are you going to take care of your kids? Well, look, you're looking at somebody who's already done it all. And I'm not even exactly where I need to be yet. I know there's more for me. This is, again, another stepping stone. This is another test from God to show my face and to speak my truth and to not give a shit what anybody else thinks, because we can't give a shit about what anybody else thinks anymore. I did that for 38 years of my life. I'm done. I'm done with that bullshit. We can't do it anymore. All of us cannot do it anymore. We have to feel that empowerment. God's just waiting for you guys to take that step. To stop thinking that with tarot, with divination, it's going to be like, oh, there's that reading, and yeah, there's my jackpot. But then, what is it? A month later, I don't have it. But did you do the work? Did you do the work? Again, do you expect to get a promotion when you do jack shit? Do you expect to get a 6-pack of abs when you're eating chips on your couch all day, every day? You're feeling hopeless, feeling unworthy. You think there's nothing else left for you. Until you stop that mentality, that lower vibrational state, you're going to continue to attract lower vibrational things, people, jobs. And for me, people thought I was crazy, considering, the salary that I had, the status of the job that I had, all of that stuff. And honestly, I was worried too, because that was the unknown. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to take that leap of faith. And God said, Jess, put in your 2 weeks. And I put them in. And I'm still here. I'm looking at a kayaker down there, in case you're wondering why I'm going. I'm looking. I kayak too. I love that stuff. Anyway, I had to take that leap of faith. And they told me, Jess, it's time to leave. It's time to follow your calling. And I did. And I never would have guessed that I would be able to hike on Fridays and sit here with this amazing view and just ground myself here, listen to my music, having my snack and my water, and watching the kayaker trying to go up the stream, and the birds that are gliding. There's like a breeze here. I was observing this bird. It just was gliding for it seemed like 2 minutes straight without having to flap its wings. It's just like the freedom that bird has, knowing that the bird is not going to crash. The bird is not going to fall into the water. So that's kind of the mentality you have to have. Spreading your wings and fly, knowing that with that, the wind, God is going to carry you, but you have to spread the wings, because otherwise you're not going to be able to move anywhere. You have to soar above everything. And when you do that, like that bird I was watching earlier today, and I could feel it, that bird's just observing everything below him or her and just taking in the view, knowing that he or she wasn't going to fall. And that bird knew. And then maybe after 2 minutes later, that bird flapped its wings twice, and it kept gliding, and it landed to my left over here, and just sat there, took a break, and flew off in the opposite direction. Just kept going. It's like the way the water flows, right? Water can be very destructive. It's also very healing. It provides life, but it can also destroy things. And water talks about emotions, about love. Love can get chaotic, right? But love is essentially supposed to heal us. I mean, just looking at the water with the ebb and flow of life, everything is working in a cycle. Nothing in nature is trying to take over anything else. Everything works in tandem. Everything works harmoniously. The water continues to flow down the river. The birds continue to fly above. The trees continue to grow. Everything just lives, and it goes by what God God says, okay, you're going to be a tree and you're going to do this. God says you're going to be a rock and you're going to let this water flow over you, whatever. And everything just flows. Everything just lives the way God intended it to be. It's how we should be. Life goes on, whether we like it or not. Time goes on with or without us. And if we feel like we're getting left behind, we have to do something about that. It's all up to us. It's like, for me, understand going with the flow of life, and everything's just so harmonious in my life. You know, like sitting here, I always get messages from my guides and from God when I'm just staring into this river, the Potomac River. And it's healing just by listening to the water, just by looking at it. And knowing that we have that within us, the shadow side and the dark side. But sometimes we can allow our emotions to be destructive, like a flash flood, like a typhoon, like a hurricane. We can allow our emotions to destroy us. But at the same time, we can allow that water to be healing for us. After that destruction, we balance ourselves and utilize the water, which is healing, which is love, essentially, like the Ace of Cups, to heal us. It's all about healing. And unconditional love is the thing that heals all things. And it's very hard for us to do, especially when we're bittered by somebody, someone, something. A job, a relationship, family member, friend, that caused us pain and suffering and hurt. We learn from that and we grow, and we say to ourselves, I'm not going to allow myself to be hurt by this person, this job, this thing, whatever anymore. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to find my own personal power. I'm going to step into that. I'm going to star into it, like my motto says. Now I'm going to start that path to becoming that star that I always was since birth. Shining your light. Everyone has light to shine. Every one of us. I don't care what you think. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you came from. Every single one of us has this ability, and we have to be mindful of that. And again, with divination, it's there to help us spiritually grow, because it is possible. And you can't say that it is not, because if you haven't tried it, you can't knock it. Even if you've been in it and it's still not working, go back and reevaluate what's been going on. Go within and say, okay, what is it that I'm missing? And it's hard, guys. I know it's hard. It's hard as all fucking hell. For me, I've broken down like literally on my knees, especially because I'm in a light counterpart journey, which they call twin flame, which I was guided not to use twin flame. And I learned so much from that journey. And I become to a better understanding as to who I was this entire time. And since I was a child, I kind of knew it. But then as I got older, I allowed other people, society, other things to take that away from me. To the point where it's like that little Jess that kind of knew she was a badass got stripped away until I had to find her again. Until, not necessarily find her again, but I had to go back to remembering that I was always that little Jess to begin with. So it's really time for a lot of us to step up. Stop staying on the sidelines. Kind of hoping for some miracle, because honestly, guys, if you're waiting for a miracle until you've been putting in the work, that miracle is just going to keep moving further and further away from you. God's just waiting to give it to you. It's there for everybody. But again, how do you expect anything if you try to control things, and if you try to continue to force the wheel, control the wheel of fortune, control time, control your life? There are things that we do have to take control over, but that's getting our power back. And it's a lot Sometimes we have to let a lot of friends fall away, jobs fall away. If deep down inside you know it's not right for you and you feel miserable, God doesn't want us to feel miserable. That's a huge sign that it's not your path, that it's not for you. As hard as it is, you have to find that faith. And I stopped looking at hope. I'm not saying hope is a bad thing, but what God told me last Friday on my hike, I lost a hope ring that day, which was a reminder from my counterpart to always have hope, because I was going through a hard time with my divorce years ago. And I wore that every day for 5 years until I lost it last Friday. And then God said, my child, you no longer need hope because you now have unwavering faith in me. And I knew God was speaking to me because he sounds very different. There's a very different energy when it's God, as opposed to my archangel, as opposed to my grandparents, opposed to my guides and the ancestors. They all have very different energies, but they're all high vibrational. But God spoke to me this time. I said, oh my God, it's really all about unwavering faith, because we can have hope and hope and hope. But again, if we're not doing anything, we're just going to continue to hope and to hope and to hope. We have to take action. We have to just do it, like Nike says. We have to get out of that cage, because the truth has been lying dormant inside you the entire time. It's like you are this dormant volcano that is waiting to explode and cause some destruction in your own life, but destruction in the sense where it releases all of the negativity in your life to allow the new to come in, to where you become this majestic mountain as opposed to an erupting volcano. To learn how to break that tower down, like the tower card. All your false beliefs fall away. And then you take the rubble from that broken down tower, polish up the stones, maybe build it with some other things, other materials, and you start creating a castle for yourself, not just a tower. That's why we have tower moments, because God doesn't want us to just live in a tower that seems to be crumbling all the time. He wants that to fall so that we can start doing our work and building our castle, our mansion, if you will. Essentially the life that God has for each and every one of us. We're all kings and queens already. Again, we've had that power since birth, but we allow others to strip it away. Do you want to continue to allow others to take the crown off of your head? Your crown is probably already off your head. You're wondering, where the hell is it? Somebody's running around with your crown. There's several people running around with several of your crowns. Okay? You gotta go take them back from every one of those people, every one of those things. Because that castle is waiting for you there. And take time out. Don't worry so much about, I gotta be here, I gotta be there, I don't have time for anything, I don't have time for anything. That means you need to reevaluate what you're doing and start making time. I've worked with people who their health was failing. Their health was failing. I said, you gotta start doing something different. And then tower moment after tower moment after tower moment happened for them. And then all of a sudden that massive one happens. It's like Saturn again. Saturn's like, stop controlling me and wake up. Pay attention. And finally they started to pay attention. Some of them are starting to try to wake up, and that's what I want you guys to do. And when you're watching tarot the next time around and that same message keeps coming up, either you click off because you don't want to hear it, or you're just like, I'm done with this, you need to really face yourself and face the truth and say, so-and-so, you've been hearing this for months on end. What are you going to do about it? Divination, your guides, your angels, everyone's trying to get you to wake up and stop repeating those same karmic patterns. It's time for us to stop doing this. If we want to get the world any better, we have to change who we are. It's like Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror song that I've talked about in my readings. He's actually one of my guides, believe it or not. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. He was so on point with that message. And he was trying to get other people to do the same thing. That's also what I'm trying to get you guys to do. Because at the end of the day, we all have to work together. This is not just about getting that thing. And I'm not judging anybody who has it, who doesn't have it. That's not the point, because I don't do that. The point is we are looking at it differently, where if we're going to try to save the world by getting this one thing, and you guys know what this is, we're missing the point. It's about changing ourselves so that we can help everybody around us to ascend, to raise the vibration of the planet. We can't do that if we keep having the devil control us, if we keep being chained to him when we're not really chained to him, if we continue to control the wheel of fortune, because it will continue to go in the opposite direction and kick us in the ass every single damn time. You just have to get off of your ass and face yourself. That's what I had to do. It was like, okay, Jess, this has got to stop. Because for so long I was doing the same damn shit until I finally woke up. I said, okay, I got to do the hard work. And it was hard. But it's progress, you guys. Just the little steps. Praying to your angels for help. Praying to God. They will help you when you ask for help. You just got to do your part. And then leave all the other hard shit to God. Just give everything else to God. God, I'm just tired of this pain and suffering. Please help me to be stronger and to face myself and to face my truth and my fears so that I can get better, so I can grow and evolve and become the person I was meant to be. So I can have my blissful life, so I can have my castle, my paradise, all of this stuff. So I can go hiking on a Friday or whatever day and just enjoy and be at peace and not do shit and not have to worry about shit. Not worrying about the time either. Yeah, provided, my son is still on vacation. He comes back in a few days, but that's besides the point. But still, either he'll come with me or he'll do some other things that he wants to do, and I still do my thing. But I still do my job as a parent. But I have to find that balance, because before, especially in my marriage, I was giving way too much of myself. That had to stop. God wants us to be in harmonious relationships, equal give and take, you guys. In my ancestral patterns, there was no equal give and take in anything. I was the golden link for that. God's like, you're the one who's going to stop all that bullshit. Because going forward, your ancestors, you're no longer going to be in that. And then now I am attracting the life, the relationship, the marriage that God always wanted for me to begin with. I had to get out of my own fucking way to get that. I was in my own way. It was me all the damn time. That was keeping me from being able to do this, what I'm doing now. I'm more healthy than I've ever been. People are telling me I'm looking younger. Some people think I'm my son's sister. And it does come from women, not from men, in case you were wondering. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I haven't been in a relationship in over 2 years. And it's been the most liberating thing. I've built up so much strength from being by myself, it's not even funny. And that's exactly what I want you guys to do. That's exactly what divination is supposed to be there for. So again, you keep getting the same messages. Wake up. You need to face the truth, because you're going to continue to run the same messages. You're going to continue to click off. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. God's going to be like, no, either way, I'm going to continue to get you to hear it. And you will keep running into the same damn bullshit if you don't wake up and listen. It's supposed to help you grow. Don't worry about, relationships right now. All of us want to be in relationships, but you know what? That was a huge lesson for me. I thought everything was anything because I was going to be in a romantic relationship. It's not about the romance. I needed a companion, a best friend, somebody who was on the same line as I was, but I had to align myself with God to attract somebody who was going to align with that. That's what God wants for you too. We shouldn't be chasing just the love. We have to allow that unconditional love, the agape love, to come to us. And until we do that, we're going to continue to attract the love that we don't want. So this is really a call for you to just do it. It's just taking that step and taking a breath and saying, all right, say to yourself, I'm going to do this once and for all. I'm finally going to take those steps to change my life. And watch, when you start doing those things, things will shift for you. And then when you've really achieved becoming the person who you were, living your dharma, your life's purpose, watch how the miracles really start to set in. They could be very small. They can be massive. And the massive ones take a long time to manifest because they are that massive. But just watch the little things. It's like even manifest things for my son, and it comes out of nowhere. Little victories. Celebrate the little victories that you have every day. Celebrate, not talking to somebody who is toxic to you and you breaking away from that marriage or that relationship or that job or that friend of yours who keeps keeping you down. It's hard, guys. Trust me, I've lost all of my friends except for 2? I have other ones. They're across the world, but they're more highly vibrational. And that fits a lot better with where I'm at. I would think that you would want that too. And when the monkey wrench comes into your life, you're able to utilize that monkey wrench and use it as part of your toolkit. Say, oh, I needed this. Let me tweak this real quick. Oh, I got it working. And you laugh at it and you move on with your life. I'm telling you, that's what you will end up getting to. So, again, especially on my channel with the divination, that's why I do what you need to focus on, what you need to avoid. I'm here to help you grow, to evolve. I've been there. I've done that. I've utilized the tools that I was given to get me to where I'm at now. And I want the same for you. Every single one of you who is watching this. I want the same for you. So it's time to level up, guys. Because things are going to get pretty challenging. And it's not just me predicting that. Just look at astrology. And God's going to see who the really strong people are. God's going to have that paradise for them when everyone's thinking they're living in hell. And with these energies coming up this weekend, it's going to really behoove you to get up, make a stand for yourself, and just do it. To get out there and break away from those chains, just cut those chains off. Use a torch, use whatever the hell you need to do. Battering ram, I don't know if that's going to work, but whatever. It's like that Journey song, break those chains that bind you, right? Separate ways. There's a significance to that song, you guys. But here's the thing. You think you're chained to the devil. If you look at the lover's card, there's a reason why I said that. If you look at the devil card, those chains are not tied to the devil, are they? Nope. That's the illusion, you guys. That's the illusion. And with tarot, that's what God really wants you to see. It's not about, oh my God, it's the devil. Like shit, I'm in deep shit. That's the devil to get you to realize things. I did a reading for Pisces that's entitled "The Devil Leads to the Sun." That's exactly how it works. maybe you should read that reading. Read that reading, watch it. Heed the guidance in that. So, with that being said, start really thinking about why you were watching tarot in the first place. And I know for me, I had other readers who were helping me. One reader helped me to get out of my job because she was saying the same message, and she was saying, you guys, this keeps coming up. Don't worry, it's time for you to leave that job. And I was like, okay. And then that's what my guides said. They gave me the specific date to put in my 2 weeks. Like the next week or whatever it was. And I did it. And I'm still here. I'm not homeless. I'm not starving. I'm not in despair. I'm fucking here at the side of the Potomac River on the Maryland side, enjoying my Friday. I'm going to continue to enjoy the rest of my Friday because I deserve that. I've done my mission work with trying to help others get them on their path. Now it's time for me. I'm not trying to bust my ass making videos. I'm not knocking on people who are doing that. Don't, if you're a reader, don't. I'm not judging. Again, I don't judge here. There's no point. I have no right to judge. But I'm talking about what I do for myself. Because at some point I thought I had to push out all these videos just to get views up and subscribers and stuff. No. God's like, just remember, this is a stepping stone to where you need to get to. This is another part of your checklist in your evolution of the self. Because I had to get over the fear of public speaking, putting my face to the forefront. My counterpart always told me, what did he say? You're afraid of showing your face. You've always done that since the day I met you. I'm watching him say that to me. And he was right. I used to have bangs. I used to hide behind them. I used to look down every time I was walking past somebody because I didn't want anybody to see my face. I could have been like this the whole time doing this whole video, but I'm not. I took my sunglasses off for a reason because now I'm like, whether I'm looking here or here, I'm making eye contact with you people. And I guess they told me to do this. I've been meaning to do this video for a long time, and honestly, I was a little bit hesitant. But they said, no, go do it when you are on your hike. Be in your element, in your environment, and then I will channel. Because I'm already been channeling since I hit record. But really, if you want to be immersed in this type of life, and it's going to be different for everybody, it's about what you want for you. What is your heart really calling you to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to go hiking every day, every Friday? Do you want to live by the beach? Do you want to live in the mountains? And you're like, that's just not possible. Stop thinking it's not possible because you will continue to create the impossible. Flip it and think of the possible. Because through God, all things are possible. And start believing that it is possible. It's all about belief in the faith. It's the unwavering faith, you guys. Go after it. Just like I went after what I wanted to do. And I know other things are coming. I just got to continue to go with the flow, like this river below me. Even if I get caught in a rapid, I get twirled around, I just ride with it. I just let the wheel of fortune turn, and I know how to keep my peace, to stay centered, to stay in my power when that shit happens. That is true power and strength right there, guys, when you get caught in a rapid like that. And it doesn't throw you off. It doesn't piss you off. It doesn't cause you to get anxiety and stress. And it doesn't cause you to throw your hands up in the air and say, what the fuck? You guys can get to a point where the what the fuck moment happens and you're like, okay, let's just let it go. Maybe a lesson for me to learn. Maybe just a test. I'm going to keep moving on with my life. But it's time for you to start doing shit and stop thinking that things are impossible and that there's no way out, because where there's a will, there's a way, as they say. So make sure that you really start paying attention to what these readings are telling you, not just with my readings, but with everyone else's. And there are tarot readers who will just say, if they're continuing to tell you, stop doing the same shit, I would really heed their guidance because they know what they're talking about. And there are others where if it's just, I understand we want all the positive stuff, but there's always light and dark. Life isn't just all about the light. We have to stay in the light to not allow that dark to succumb us. That's where the key is. And you can only do that when you start doing the work and you spiritually evolve and you grow. And you face the truth about who you really are, what you really want, what your heart's desires are. Not what anybody else tells you your heart's desires are. Not what society tells you your heart's desires are. It's you. It's all about you. It's up to you to create the life that you want to live. That being said, I wish all of you the best. I send so much love. I really do. I do the prayer in my hands, but I can't because I am holding this. I'm going to continue, sit here. I have a song for you guys. I'm going to listen to this. I listen to this now when I sit here at the edge of the cliff. It's James Morrison's The Awakening. If I remember, I'll put a link to it in the description box. Listen to that song, guys. It'll probably change your world like it did mine. And it came out of nowhere while I was having a pizza dinner with my son at his favorite pizza place over a year and a half ago. Listen to what James has to say. It's very, very profound. Maybe use that as motivation for you. Because even James went through this, just like so many of us did. I want to sing it, but they're like, no, just have them go look it up. Maybe play that every day to help program into your mind that the chaos you're living in is caused by you. And you can have this paradise, what I'm sitting at right now. I wish you all the best. You guys could do this. There's nothing you can't do. Shit, if I can do it, I just did it, right? You can do it too. Shout out to Nike. And in a sense, it's funny because I'm wearing, everything's Nike today. I just so matchy. Anyway, that's besides the point. I wish you guys all the best, really, I do. I really, really do. I pray for you guys, even though I don't know who you are. I pray for the collective every single morning. And I have to continue to have that faith that a lot of us are going to step up. And we're going to change ourselves so that we can change each other for the better and essentially change the world together. I love all of you. Enjoy your weekend. This is Jess from Capella Wellness. Starring out.